All right, hello everyone. It is Brenda here for Stamplicity and welcome to What's Up Wednesday. All right, I am just getting my iPad going so I can watch for comments and I'll let people find me. Tonight we're going to be working with the brand new Hero Arts. I showed some of this today on Happy Hour, some bits from a few weeks ago, but a nice array of kind of spring-like florals and such. And we're going to just kind of do some fun techniques with them and make a few cards and hopefully, we'll be well. All right, okay, I can see comments. Hello. I think we're good. Sorry, I was a few minutes late because I was scrambling finding an extension cord because I realized my iPad was not charged all the way. And of course, it doesn't have a USB charger. It's got the other special charger. So then I was scrambling. So anyways, I'm here. All right. So are you. Thank you. All right. So like I said, we are going to play with the new Hero Arts, or some of the new Hero Arts products from the last, this month and not last month. Now I do have some prototypes here from Hero Arts just because I did a consumer class with them, or not, a retailer class with them. So I don't have the proper packaging for some of these, but that's okay. I have them all labeled. So we're going to do with the stamp and die set called Special Day Butterfly. I showed this today in Hero Arts, or in Happy Hour. Can I get this off? There we go. All right, so it's got this. Let me just get a piece of paper behind her. All right, so lovely florals, very typical Hero Arts style with some butterflies, got some sentiments on there. So we'll be using that this evening. And then of course, I love this background stamp, and this is called Whimsy Florals. All right, we showed this today on Happy Hour, so we're going to use that in a couple of different ways. This is a die we showed, I think last week. I think Michelle showed this one. This one's called Floral Window, and we have all of these in stock. And this one's going to be a cool die to work with. All right, so it's got a butterfly in there as well as an extra flower in there, and then a little bumblebee as well. So we'll be working with that. This one is probably from maybe a month and a half ago. All right. This one here is the Trellis Window, which is really cool. I've been wanting to play with this one. So tonight's the night. So we're going to be playing with this one. And then we have one that's not even released yet. And this is a better press plate. All right. This is called Floral Border. And it is beautiful. I cannot wait to play with this one. So it does have the border, and then it's got a separate floral as well. So we're going to be playing with that one. So we're just going to have some fun with these products, doing some inking techniques, and let's just see where we all go here with this. All right, so what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to start with doing some ink blended backgrounds. All right, I'm going to need 3 of these for 3 different cards, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, one of them is going to be on a Better Press paper. All right, so this is porcelain Better Press paper. So I'm going to blend on this and then we'll press on it afterwards. And then I'm going to do two panels. And these are all just working on white paper, except for the Better Press paper, but just regular white cardstock. And we're going to do blended backgrounds. These are A2 panels, so they're 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. All right. So we're just going to play around with some ink blending just to start off with. And I'm going to use my Simon Hurley inks this evening. And the reason being is that they're so bold, all right? When I blend with them, I get nice, intense colors. You could definitely do any of these techniques with distress inks, oxide inks, even if you had, the Hero Arts reactive inks. Anything that's going to be a water-based ink and it's going to react with water, you're going to be able to do these techniques with this, all right? So, all right, so I'm going to bring in some nice bright colors here. I always go to pink, yellow, and orange. I don't know why, but those are my kind of go-tos. I don't know. I just like that color combination. Sorry, I'm just looking for my bright yellow. I got the guppy in there, but that's kind of like a orangey yellow. Aha, there it is. Okay. Okay, so let's just do some quick blended backgrounds on each of these. I'm going to do the color combination yellow, orange, and pink. And we are going to go ahead and do this. All right, so I'm going to start with Shooting Star, which is the bright yellow. Okay, so guys, I got these. These are the big Pink Fresh brushes. OMG, I am loving these, all right? So we are out of stock of them. I know. I got more coming in. I think I got like 20 packs coming in because once you use them, oh, they're awesome. Okay, so I'm going to, I just love the feel of them in my hand. I'm just going to go ahead and ink like 1/3 of my panel here. Now I'm going to go over it because I really want that color to be deep and bright and beautiful. But I'm loving these brushes because it's effortless. All right, honestly, that's just, they're just fantastic. Of course, I only have a pack of 3, and so, oh, I got yellow everywhere. Good thing we're covering that up. All right, so there's my first one. I'm gonna do the same for the second and the third one. So how's everyone going? How's everyone doing tonight? It's a little chilly out there today. Yeah, Ruby, my first order of brushes should be in, I want to say, maybe tomorrow. And then we've got another bunch coming in next week because I really, really love them. All right, so there's my second, and now we're going to go into our third, and this is the Better Press paper. So the ink will go on a little bit different on the Better Press paper because it is a cotton paper. I just find it doesn't go on as intense. You got to kind of work it up a little bit more. All right, so then once I have my yellow done, I'm going to switch over to the orange, all right? And then we'll do the second, third, I guess you want to call it. All right, so we're good there. Okay. Okay, I got to switch my brushes now. And of course, all right, we're going to go in with, I'm going to clean up my mess here. All that yellow ink. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera. All right, that's cleaned up. Dry that off, and let's move on to orange. And again, I'm going to go kind of in the middle. I'm going to slightly overlap that yellow. Building up my color. Now, typically when I do a blended background like this, I will go back with my first color as well. So I always keep that brush handy. And where they kind of overlap, I'm just going to take that brush and whatever ink is left on there, and it just helps with the blend. All right. Okay, so that one I'm happy with. That's the Better Press panel, so I'm just going to put that to the side. And now let's continue on with the other ones. I think this ink pad needs to be re-inked because it should go on a little bit heavier than this. All right, so you can see that I've got some kind of line there, and that's what I mean. Take your original brush and then just kind of go over it, and it's going to just help blend it. All right, so now we don't have such that harsh line. Here, I'm just going to go a little bit more with this one. Okay, And let's do our last panel, and then we'll move on to the pink. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. I'm shaking the whole table here. I'm being impatient now. Okay, I'm going to take that yellow. All right, let's move on to the pink. I'm going to clean up. And did I bring out my pink brush? I don't think I did. Okay. So I like using the bigger brushes when you're doing a big background. You'll notice that when I do larger areas, I'll use bigger brushes. Smaller areas, smaller brushes, stencils, I will typically use the smaller ones. There's a brush for every kind of purpose, right? So, all right, that blended really, really nice. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to put that to the side. And then let's do our second panel. All right, that one looks good. And then we'll do the last one, which is the better press panel. And then we're going to get into the fun stuff. I'm sure it's no fun watching me blend ink on paper, but this is all, we do need to do this too, do these kind of inky techniques. All right, happy with that one. That blended lovely. All right, let's clean up now. And you know what? I'm going to do one more, just an inky blend on the card that I'm going to be doing with the trellis. But it's just a little bit of ink on the background. I don't need a blue blended one. This way, all my inking is kind of done. So this one here, I'm just going to do a little bit of blue on the background here. So now where is my blue brush? Oh, that's interesting. I had it because I was working on stuff for Scrap Fest last night and I was using it. Okay, we're going to have to get another one. Okay. So for this one here, it's just a regular piece of cardstock, and I'm just going to put, I'm starting kind of in the middle, and I'm just going to do kind of radiate it to the outer edge, just with a blue, just to highlight kind of the center here. I am using Breakup Blue, which is quite a light color, so I just need to work it up a little bit. Yeah, Janice, you are absolutely right. They are so soft. They blend beautifully, those Pink Fresh brushes. They're just kind of awesome. All right, so I just got this kind of light blue hue in the background there. Hopefully the camera can pick it up. It's just a little highlight, just to create a little bit of interest in the background when I put the trellis on here. All right, so that is done. All right, now we have all our inky. You know what? I lied. I don't have all my inking done. I got to do one more. Oh, my goodness. Craig's laughing at me. I am talking to myself. No, I'm talking to everyone out there. All right, I'm going to do one more here, and I'm going to use Remember Me here, which is more of a tealy blue. All right, and I'm going to do kind of this full panel. All right, very, very quickly. I guess I'm making 5 cards. Overachiever tonight. All right, so with this one here, I'm going to go pretty intense with the ink blending. I want a full coverage on here. And I want it pretty bold too, all right? We're going to do kind of a water stamp technique on here, so we really want to have a good coverage of ink on here. So I'm going to cover it one more time, and then I think we will be done with the inking. Okay, so normally, Karen, I have a brush for each color family. So when I'm using my dye-based inks, water-based inks like these ones, I will have one for blues, one's for yellows, one's for greens. It all depends. I normally will take my brush and clean it off on a microfiber cloth. I never wash my brushes. All right. I don't use baby wipes on them either, just because I do have one for every color family. And then that's just me. All right. A lot of people will wipe them off on a baby wipe, and that's fine. I think it's because I don't clean my brushes in between. It's just because I'm always doing something, and I don't have the time to wait for them to dry. All right. So right now, I have only 3 of these. They come in a pack of 3, these blending brushes. So I have one for blue, one for green, and one for yellow. And that's why I switched it out using the Spellbinders ones. These are great as well. I just like the handle on these ones. I like the feel of these ones. So this is, you can see, this is my orange one. This is my pink one. This is my yellow one. And then, like I said, there's my green one. I was using a soft green on there. You never ever want to wash your brushes or immerse them in water. All right. Because what will happen is there are so many bristles or hairs or whatever you want to call them in these brushes that when you start putting water in there and the water seeps down, it's going to start loosening the glue that holds it all together. And then you're going to just wreck your brushes. They're going to start falling apart and all that. So if you want to clean them, use a damp rag, and you can just, wipe it on a damp rag and then go ahead and then dry it on a dry cloth. And but honestly, I don't do that. Now, if I'm going from something as bold like this to a light, I will rub it on a paper towel just to get most of that dark color on there. But yeah, I have one per family, color family. So, and I have them in all different sizes, and I have them then also for the smaller ones, and then I have ones for my kind of oxide inks as well, in my metallic inks. And if you were to see my tray of brushes, you'd laugh. But anyways, it is what it is, right? So we all have our favorite inks and such. So, all right. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Okay. Now I'm an inky mess. All right. So let's start with this panel here, just because we have it in front of me. So I blended a solid color over there. You could do any color with this. You don't have to do blue. I just chose this Remember Me because it was on top of my my pile of inks here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my stamp platform. And we are going to work with that cling stamp, all right? So let's talk about stamp platforms, because a lot of people don't know this, all right? Because we get a lot of people, going, it doesn't stamp properly and all that. All right, so when you have a stamp platform, whether it be a Misty or the one from Nellie's Choice, which is this one here, you will always have like a piece of foam in there. That foam is when you use clear stamps, all right? You always want to leave that foam in when you have clear stamps. And when I mean clear stamps, it's going to be ones like this, all right? The clear polymer stamps. When you transition over to what we call a rubber cling stamp, it's already got the foam kind of attached to it. So you need to remove this foam when you stamp with a cling rubber stamp, all right? So, this way it's taking the bulk out of there, and you'll get better stamping. All right, so If it's a clear stamp, you leave the foam in. If you have a rubber cling mount stamp, it's already got the foam on it, so you want to take the foam out of your stamping stamp positioner. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I just stuck this right into the corner here, and I'm just going to pick that up, and then I'm going to tape down this just with a little roll of tape so it just doesn't move on me. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're not going to actually use any ink with this stamping. We're going to use water because this is a water-based ink, all right? So it's water reactive. So we're going to kind of do like a bleaching effect, all right? So we have our paper down, which has been inked. Then we also have our stamp, which is ready to go. And then I'm going to take a mister and I'm going to lightly mist this. And then we're going to stamp, all right? And you can go ooh and ah, all right? So don't go crazy with, you want to have a nice coverage of water in there, but you don't want it dripping off. I might have too much on there. So then I'm going to just press this down and I'm going to hold it, all right? I'm going to get my, I don't know what these things are called, but this little tool here, and I just want to give it some pressure. I want that water to really like get into that ink, all right? Okay, so I don't know if there's a product out there, Karen, but have you tried just washing it in some warm water and just mild hand soap? Usually that reactivates the stickiness on it, all right? Is it a clear stamp or is it a rubber stamp? What do you do when a sticky mat is in the stamp positioner? Good question, Ruby. I would probably take, well, I don't have my stamp positioner here. It's at the sticky mat. Okay, so try that, Karen. Yeah, just run it under some warm water. If it's a clear stamp, you can immerse that in water. It doesn't matter. But you can just kind of wipe the back of it. If it's a cling mount like this one, wipe it with a little bit of, with a cloth that's wet and a little bit of hand soap in there or dish detergent, and then clean it. Let it dry by itself. It should reactivate. It should reactivate that stickiness. It should. All right. I don't know, Ruby. I don't know how to answer that one because my, well, I see there. All right. See, I talked long enough that I let the water do its thing. All right. So I'm just going to bring that up to camera so you can see that water's kind of bleached out that, that pattern there. Now I'm going to zap this with the heat tool. It's going to become even more, it's going to show a little bit better. So let me just grab my heat tool. This is the cool thing about when you work with water and inks that react with water. There's so many things that you can do, but this just creates a really cool background. Now, if you get too much water, you'll get like little blobs like this, all right, where you don't get the actual, can't see the actual design. And if you don't use enough water, then you don't get that. So I did good here. But we're going to be covering some of this up anyways. This is just background, so. All right, let's just put that there. I'm going to take my little tapes off here, and then I'm just going to clean up my mess here. Just put that to the side and we'll come back to it. All right, so now we have our panel here, and I'm going to, I already pre-cut or pre-stamped and pre-die cut some of the elements from this stamp set. All right, so I have an orange butterfly, and let's do this kind of purpley pinky floral. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another piece of white cardstock, and we're going to cut a little panel for the top of this. Or maybe, no, I'm going to actually trim a little bit off of this. All right, that's what we'll do. So I'm going to trim off the side that the design did not get bleached out as much as the other one. So I'm going to cut off. This is what, 5.5. If I do 4.5, we're going to cut 2 inches off. All right. All right. So I can save this and die cut it out because I think that would be really cool for a sentiment if you had a big bulky word. So I will keep that. But this is the part that I want to keep. And I'm going to grab my adhesive and I'm going to stick it right on to my white card panel here. And I'm going to stick it to the bottom. This is a cool technique, especially if you do art journaling and all that. I love doing this kind of technique in an art journal to create your background and such. So, okay, so there is that. And now we're just going to, I'm going to stamp a sentiment on the top here. So I'm going to grab my stamp platform again. And because I'm going to be using my clear stamp, I'm going to put my foam back in. I'm going to grab my panel here. And let's see, we got Thinking of You or It's Your Special Day. Let's do It's Your Special Day. All right, I'm going to put this kind of on the right side here. And, sorry, I think that's straight. Now, this is a brand new stamp, so I'm going to grab my stamp conditioner eraser, and I'm just going to give that just a little rub on there so we got good stamping, and then I'm going to stamp this with my VersaFine Clair ink, all right? So, okay, let's see. Perfect. All right, so there is that. I'm going to clean my stamp. Okay, so these are a couple of the other elements from the stamp set. All right, so I stamped the side profile butterfly, and I also stamped this kind of lovely floral here. I die cut them out. I just colored them very quickly with my alcohol ink markers. I did a little shading, nothing special, but there they are. All right, so those are the little elements, and what we're going to do now is I'm just going to kind of attach them up in this area. Might have to just do it a little bit sideways because I should have put these down first. There, I think we'll do something like that. All right, so I'm going to glue that. Do I want to pop them? Yeah, let's pop them. This one's easy to pop. The thing I like about Hero Arts is the simplicity. Okay, so Debbie, you don't have your foam. It's funny because a lot of people have misplaced it. So my suggestion is get a piece of fun foam and cut it down to size. All right. Now, when I say fun foam, don't get the good fun foam. All right. There's a difference between fun foam. The fun foam from the dollar store, it's very spongy, I guess. It's not very dense. If you go to, maybe Walmart, big box store, they may have something that's a little bit more denser. It's going to be a few more dollars more, but that's going to be more the same as what is in your stamp positioner, and that will work. So just, you can't, they don't sell replacement ones, unfortunately. So that is my suggestion. Get a piece of fun foam. All right. So I'm just going to place my floral on here. I think I was starting to say what I like about Hero Arts is the simplicity of their designs. It's not overly techniquey. You know, they're not heavily detailed. They just make really pretty and simple cards. All right. So I'm going to grab my butterfly here. I put a couple of foam adhesives on the back of it, and I've just kind of popped it up on the floral there. And that one is done, guys. I mean, I'm going to put some gems, I think, on here because I love my gems. But just a really great way to create a background, a nice, you're creating your own like pattern paper basically for this one here. All right. Now you could cut this down. This is an actual A2 card size. I would just put this on my A2 card. But you could definitely cut this down and then mount it on another color if you'd like, and then onto your card. All right. But there is number one. All right. So card number one is done. Cute. All right. Let's continue on with some inky techniques, and we are going to let's work with that lovely, well, let's do this one here just because it is here. I'm going to actually trim this down to a 4 by 5 1/4. So when I'll mat this onto my card front, so I'm going to take, I got such inky hands, I'm afraid that I'm going to get it everywhere. All right, so I'm just cutting 1/8 of an inch off either side just because I kind of inked in the center, so I want to have that ink remain in the center. All right, and I've already pre-cut my trellis out. Now let's talk about this trellis window die. It's kind of cool because there's different ways that you can use this. So there's 2 dies in the pack. You're going to have your outside die and then your inside die that does a trellis design. Now, when you put them together, you are going to get this. All right? That's what you're going to get. You're going to get a trellis. But you could use this to create a window in there and leave it like that and then have your design on the inside. Or you could cut this design right out of your actually, let me show you because I think it's really cool. So I have extra paper here, so let's go ahead and just do that. See, now I'm going to be forced to make another card. All right, so I'm just going to center the inside piece. In the inside of this one, I'm going to die cut it. Now, my die cut machine is just to the right here. I'm just going to not bring it onto camera. I'm just going to die cut it to the right. But this will create a trellis window, all right? And again, then you could have some fun. You could put patterned paper behind there. You could make, you could do an inky background. You could make it into a shaker. All right. So when I pop this out, I love dies that you can use in different ways. All right. So now it created a trellis window in there. All right. Which is kind of cool. All right. So there is the different ways that you can use it. So I think it's now I don't know which one I want to use. No, we're going to do with my original. I'll make something off camera with that one because I didn't have anything planned. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I wonder if my verse, Thinking of You, will it fit there? If it will fit there. It will. All right, let's stamp a little verse on here. Little sentiment. All right, let's do this really, really quickly. So then I'm going to push this kind of right to the bottom. I'm going to use my trellis here. If I center that, I can get this right. The top of the H will fit kind of right in that little groove. Oopsie, I moved it. Okay, I don't think that's perfectly straight. I'm going to just, well, it's not too bad. I think I'm just going to go with it. Yeah, I see a shaker card too. It's probably going to end up as a shaker card, Janice. I am doing a shaker card tonight, so it is crooked. I'm just going to move that just, well, we're going to go with it. Oh, I didn't use my conditioning eraser, so see. Oh, it's stamped okay. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. All right, we got the thinking of you. I'll clean my stamp afterwards. All right, and now I can go ahead and attach glue on my trellis here, all right? So I'm gonna glue it. You could definitely pop this up. You would have to use your thin strips of foam adhesive, but for this one here, I'm going to glue it, all right? So next week, I already know what I'm doing for next week. Next week, we're going to kind of explore some Elizabeth Craft products. One being a new cone flower, or cornflower. Is it cornflower? I think it's cornflower. Floral. And you know what? I might bring this trellis back in next week because I think it will work really, really well with the florals. All right, so we're gonna center this as best I can. And this is why I did that little bit of blue highlight in the back, just to make it pop a little bit. All right, so it wasn't quite white on white. Okay, I'm just gonna flip this over and apply pressure. All right, so there is that. And then I pre-stamped this large floral cluster, this stem, and another side profile butterfly. I stamped, I die cut them, and I colored them with my alcohol ink markers. And we're just gonna kind of layer them in here for another quick and simple card, just with a pop of color there, all right? So again, I'm gonna use pop dots on these ones. All right, so something like this, I use one big pop dot in the center, and then I'm able to I can tuck things behind it. All right, I don't go crazy on my pop dots when I'm working with kind of florals and stems. I always just do my focal floral first, and then I can stick my little stems in behind it. All right, there we go. I mean, this is just a really quick and simple card. All right, and then I will mount it on my card base, like so. All right, so it's just like that. All right, so simple. All right, simple, simple. All right, and these are easy imagery to color. All right, they're not detailed, you know, big open spaces, so it makes it easier to color. Now this one here, I didn't do any shading. I just used different tones, like on the yellow flowers, I did the center petal a little bit darker than the other petals, but there's no shading on here. All right, so really quick and simple. Again, I'm probably put a little bit of gems on here to finish that up, but there you go, card number 2. So I think it's a really versatile stamp and die set because of the elements in there. You can build up nice sceneries. So so there is card number 2. All right, now I'm going to put my trellis die away, and I'm going to put this stamp set away, and let's bring out this one here. I'm looking forward to using this one. This is the floral window. So this is a die set, and we got this in, I think, last week. I think Michelle showed us. I love these kind of sets where they will cut a window, but they create a beautiful kind of design on the outside. So we're going to use this 2 ways. All right, so we're going to use 2 of our inky backgrounds, not our Better Press one. All right, one, we're going to do this as our background. This one is going to be our overlay. All right, so all right, here are the extra little bits that came in there: a butterfly, the floral, and then a little bumblebee. All right, okay, so let's do the one that's going to be, this is going to be our background. And so I'm going to take another piece of white cardstock here, and I'm going to place this on the top of this, and we're going to cut this out of white. All right, Sorry, I know I'm jumping around here. It'll all come together, all right? So I'm just going to center that on. Now, when you work with a die like this, if you are worried it's going to shift on you when you die cut, just grab a little piece of low tack tape, all right? And then just stick it on, all right? If you are worried it's going to move. So I'm just going to stick that on. Now this is a spot that's going to get cut out. It's going to create a window here, and that's going to be my kind of like garbage, all right? But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take my butterfly and I'm going to take the floral because I'm going to layer these in there, all right? So these are just, I'm just using the excess to cut extra pieces out of there, all right? So So I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. All right, so you might hear some creaking and groaning. Now with something as intricate as this one with all the details on there, I will go forward and backwards on this one. We want to make sure all those little bits and pieces have been cut through. All right. So I'm going to pop up my butterfly. I'm going to pop up my flower here. All right. And now this centerpiece is going to come out, and that is what you are left with. All right. Nothing else is going to get cut out. All right. You've got some cut lines in there, but it just gives you that detail, all right? So I really, really like what this creates, all right? So how beautiful that is. Yes, Glenna, good point, but I want to cut more florals out of this one, so that's why I didn't do the bee. That is all. I want to cut like 2 more flowers out of this one, so that is why. Otherwise, I would have used the bumblebee and save it for, because the bumblebee is a really pretty bumblebee. It's got a little bit of detail on it. That's the only reason why. Okay, the name of this die is called Floral Window. Floral Window from Hero Arts. It should be, if you're looking at our website, it should be under new arrivals. All right. All right, so let's do one more flower because you work in 3s, right? Odd numbers. Shouldn't say you work in 3s, you work in odd numbers. All right, so I got my 3 florals, I got my butterfly. Just gonna poke out the innards. Don't apologize, it was a good idea. You were just one step ahead of me, that's all. All right, so let me show you this butterfly. I love when they have all these lovely details. It's a pain in the butt to pop out, I know, but look how pretty that is. All right, there is that lovely butterfly. Okay, I gotta make sure I don't lose these. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my blended background here. And this is what we're going to do. We're just going to layer this on top. All right. Now, before I layer this on top, I just got a brilliant idea. And actually, I'm going to spray this with a shimmer spray. So I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with this one. I love the Lindy sprays. I know not everyone has success with these ones, but they are very temperamental, and if you use them properly, they should work no problem. So, so I'm just going to give this a good shake. This is pixie dust, so this is a clear spray with gold sparkle. So I think it'll work really well with the color tone that I use. So I'm just going to give that a good shake. And then when I spray this, and I'm not going to do it on camera because otherwise I'm going to make a mess of my glass mat. I'm going to do to the side. I'm going to hold up my panel vertically like this and then spritz it this way so I don't have any chance of sucking up excess mica into my nozzle here. It's going to be a beautiful spray on here, all right? So here I go, off camera. And I'm going to spray it I sprayed it 4 times, but I'm going to go over it just a little bit more to really create a nice gold sparkle. All right, I'm going to zap this with my heat tool. I got to be careful not to, because my hands are all inky and I don't want to create a mess on here. I love, love, love these sparkle sprays. If you don't own a sparkle spray, so we have the Lindy sprays, and then we also have the Imagine Craft ones, which are just as beautiful. The difference between the two is the Lindy's, you have to add your own water to it, and the Imagine Crafts come already pre-mixed, all right? So, but they all do the same, all right? They do this beautiful sparkle on there. All right, so I'm gonna hold this up. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick up, but it's such a beautiful sparkle on there, all right? But subtle, all right? It's not like in your face like Stickles. It's beautiful. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so the cool thing about this as well is once you get it on the project, I can kind of lift up some of these petals to give it more dimension, which is kind of cool. I'm not going to worry about it now, but now we're going to stick that on there and take a look at that. How beautiful is that? Now I am going to stamp a sentiment on there. So let's get our stamp platform back out, and we're going to use that same stamp set that we have been using, just because it's here. All right, so for this here, when I do something like this where I need it specifically kind of put, I'm going to put my frame down. Oh, I lost my magnet. What did I do with my magnet? Oh, I lose these things all the time. Yep, I have officially lost it. Oh, there it is. If you were to see, I am in full planning mode for Scrapfest and getting, you know, our make and takes all finalized. If you were to see the mess around my desk here, it is just, you'd wonder how I can work this way. I can't, but it's a mess. It really is. Okay, I'm going to grab It's Your Special Day again, because I like that one. I think it will fit nicely. And I'm going to put that kind of in this area here. All right. Just going to bring this so I can make sure it's straight. All right, looks good. All right, once I have it stuck to my stamp platform, now I can remove my overlay so it doesn't get in the way. All right, and we're just going to stamp this with black ink. Ruby, no, so Fairy Fluff, Fairy Fluff is the sparkle one that's kind of like the clear sparkle. All right, that's Fairy Fluff. I use Pixie Dust. All right, that's got the little gold hue to it. Those are my two favorites. I alternate back and forth from them. All right, gonna go ahead and ink this up. Now, because I'm on an inky background, I may have to ink it twice just to build up the blackness of this. My magnet, okay, my magnet is covered in washi tape, so I can find it. But yeah, you can buy the magnet separately. Trust me, you can, because I have to get them all the time, because I lose mine all the time. And then you find them stuck to the weirdest spots, right? Like, at least I do. All right. So I have that stamped in my cloth. Okay, so let's take that off. Okay, and now we're going to grab this guy here, and I think I'm going to pop dot it to give it that kind of dimension. So I'm going to grab my foam tape here. I mean, if you were to see my room, like honestly, I have things piled everywhere. And my room is kind of adjoined to our dining room. We have an old home, so it's kind of a, I don't know, the dining room, and I think this is supposed to be, we used to always call it the piano room because we did have a piano in here, but honestly, I think it's where they would have had a piano. Or my house is like 120 years old. But I have like, it goes on to my dining room table. My husband gets so mad. How are we supposed to eat here? Anyways, it is what it is. Us crafters. All right, so I'm going to now take my little frame here, and this is the same size as the panel. So I'm just going to line up the corners and hope for the best. Okay, I might have to do a little trim on the side there, but that is an easy little fix here. I'm just going to slide my scissors right in there and just trim off that excess, and there we go. Okay, so there is that, and then we have our little components here. And you know what? I'm going to spritz these with that gold sparkle spray as well. So just give me a second here. I should have done it all at once. Okay, let me dry them. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is a butterfly. I'm just going to kind of bend up the wings. And then I'm just going to apply glue or adhesive just on its body. And we are going to kind of stick that under the verse. There's a little sentiment here at an angle in the center. Okay, and then our little florals here, I'm just going to kind of pop them up around here. You can put them over top another floral, but I think I'm going to choose not to. I'm just going to put them in my own spot, but I'm going to pop them up with a pop dot. And then I'm going to put gems in the centers of these guys. So we're going to put one kind of here. This one I may actually put over top of this one. All right, so I will finish this up. I got a little bit of glue there. Okay. I will, and I have the back of a pop dot in there. All right. I will then grab some gold gems and then kind of just put them on the florals. But there is card number 3. Yes, the piano parlor. That's it. That's a word I was thinking of, well, trying to think of, and I couldn't come up. A parlor. Yes, our piano parlor. Now our piano's in the other room. No one plays it anymore. My son plays piano, or did play piano. I think he plays like when we're not home. But I'm waiting for him to move out so the piano can go with him. Yeah. All right. So there is card number 3. All right. So, fun. All right. All right. So we're going to put that to the side. And now we're going to create a shaker card. And we're going to kind of do the same thing, but reverse. And we're going to use our blended background, and we are going to use this guy here again, and we're going to cut this out of our blended background. All right. So again, I think I'm going to tape this down so it doesn't move on me. It is a nice card. You know what? And really simple to do, right? It's a little bit of ink. Now, if you didn't have ink, if you didn't want to do an inky background, you could definitely put a pattern paper in there, right, as the base. And it's just white cardstock. You know me, I love my white cardstock. I do. All right, I'm going to do the bumblebee on this one here. Well, we might as well just cut out the bumblebee and the butterfly, like Glenna had suggested. This way I have the butterfly for next time. Oh, you know what? I am going to do a bumblebee, no butterfly. We're going to do florals in here as well, because we're going to create a shaker card. So let's use these as shaker elements. I hope I have acetate. I just realized that maybe that's an important component of a shaker card. Again, I'm going back and forth. Ooh, that bumblebee is so cute. Look at it. Super sweet. I love all the details on it. All right, so there's the inside. Take a look at this. Look how pretty that is with the inky background. All right, I'm going to cut a little bit more florals. So bear with me. I'm going to cut as many as I can from here. So don't want to waste all that inky goodness. Looks like I can get 2 more out of here. Oopsie, the die moved. One moment. Okay, so we got 5 flowers and 1 little bumblebee out of that inside, which is fantastic. Don't want to waste it. All right, so you can see I did good. Okay, so now I'm going to find a piece of acetate. All right, I got to check one more shelf. Okay. Okay, so no acetate. Oh, I do. I knew I had some. Okay. All right, so I have a piece of acetate. Now this is from, this is really heavyweight acetate. This is from Craft Perfect, which is from Tonic Studios. There's 5 sheets in here. This is a nice heavyweight acetate. This is good if you're creating your own acetate cards, if you're creating your own boxes and such. But we're going to use it because that's what I found. Typically, I wouldn't use such a heavy acetate for this, but for the purposes of tonight, I am going to use it. All right, so I'm going to cut a panel that's slightly smaller than my panel here. So this was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to do 5 1/4 by 4. All right, so let me get that cut. Now this acetate, because it's got protective film on the one side. I think it's just the one side. Yeah, it's just on the one side. So I remember to take that off. Not normally acetate doesn't have that protective film on there. I know that it was on there. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to now adhere this behind this to create that lovely window. And I'm just going to use my double-sided tape. And then we'll stick this on. Okay, so now we've got our window. Now, if you're really concerned about all these little leaves, you could put a little spot of glue behind them. I'm not going to worry about that, but there is that. Okay. I'm just going to put it on a white background like so. So you could definitely just do this onto your card base. But I think we want to do a saying in there. All right, so let me get my stamp. And platform again. And again, I'm going to use my frame for reference. And I'm going to do, it's your special day again. How's my time? Oh, it's 8 o'clock. This one here, I'm going to put kind of in the center. Okay, I'm going to remove my frame and let's go ahead and stamp this. And I'm just going to do black ink again. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to put our shaker elements in here. So we're going to use our flowers here. We're going to use them as shaker elements and the bumblebee as well, because they're just going to create nice little interest in there. And then I always like to mix it up with something. All right. So I always have a specialty item in there. These are going to be my specialty items. And then I usually tend to go to what I love, and this is my big jar, but of diamond dust. This is my go-to for shaker. All right, honestly, it really is. I love this stuff. It is a chunky glitter glass, all right? But I will always have my specialty items in there, and then I mix this with it, all right? So I'm just going to dump a bunch of that in. I like the way the light reflects off of this. All right, so I'm just going to kind of push this now into the inside, but flatten it out a little bit. All right. Okay, and now on this one, oh, I forgot to do I want to put my foam tape on here. All right, so we got to create a well now. All right, so when you do your foam adhesive, you want to make sure all your ends are butt up to one another, that there are no gaps for that little glitter glass to fall out. All right, so just make sure that your ends are all butt up to one another. And I'm just going around the perimeter, making sure that the foam tape is not hanging off the edge and it's not being seen through the window in the center. All right, everything is lovely, butt up. I'm going to take the backings off my foam tape here. Now, don't freak your freak when you put this down and your glitter glass or your little specialty items get static cling to the acetate. Just commit to it, all right? Just commit, all right? It usually does happen. And this is the same size, so I'm just going to line up and hope for the best. Then give it a good burnish. I got one little guy that's stuck there. No, he's stuck there. All right, so now we've got these fantastic, we've got the movement of the glitter, glass glitter, or the glitter glass in there, but our other elements are moving in there as well. All right, so how fun is that? All right. Super fun. All right. The one on the top finally moved. All right. So lots of fun. And that is just a great way of using those additional die cuts in there. You can use them to layer like we did in our last card, or use them as shaker. Is there not static with diamond dust? Not so much. That's why I like it. The diamond dust is, some elements will have a little bit of static in there, especially the smaller, like little beads and all that. But this one here, I don't know. It is actually glass. So, and yes, the powder tool, I don't typically use the powder tool. I find that you get a little bit of dusty film on there. That's why, but you can use the powder tool as well to create, help with the static cling, but I think I did okay. All right, so there is that. And again, I'm going to go back in with a little bit of pearls to decorate this, but that card is done. All right, I got one more. We got to do one more because I want to really try this Better Press plate out. So let's go one more, guys. And then I got to call it quits because I have a Zoom call coming up. All right, so we're going to do a Better Press. What did I do with my Better Press panel? All right. So we're going to do a Better Press plate. So this is Better Press paper that I blended with. And then this is going to be a new Better Press plate coming out. It's not available yet, but it is called Floral Border. It is from Hero Arts. And I should be able to order it as of Monday. So we should have it within the next week or two. All right. So don't ask me the price point on it. But again, it is a beautiful floral border. And we are going to just press that, and it fits on an A2 card nicely. We're going to press that with black ink, and let's do a little bleaching effect. All right. So, the nice thing about, Better Press is that, it's quick and simple, right? So, this is going to be a quick card. So, all right. So I got my Better Press plate here, or, base. So I'm just going to tape my paper here. It's a little sneak peek of a plate underneath there, guys. And for those that are going to Scrap Fest, it's going to be one of the make and takes using this new plate. Just saying. All right, you want a little reveal? Not this one, not the one I'm using, the one that's on my base here. Look at that beautiful wildflower one. It's gorgeous, right? Anyways, that's for Scrap Fest. I was finishing up our make and take samples last night, so super excited about them. They turned out gorgeous. Just toot my own horn there. I'd love to show you them, but they're at the store. Otherwise I would, because I can't keep secrets. All right, so I'm going to take our Hero Arts floral border Better Press plate. Again, remember, you can foil with these as well. All right, the Better Press plates you can foil with too, and this would be gorgeous foiled. All right, just saying. All right, but we're going to Better Press it. So there is that. And you know what? I'm wondering. No, I'm just going to go with the black ink. I was going to go a little crazy with another ink, but we're going to do a bleaching technique. All right, so just going to use my Better Press black ink. I'm using the full size one. I like using the full size ink pad, especially with bigger ones like this. Any type of background one, I will use my bigger one because I'm impatient. All right, so, and when in doubt, people always ask, how do you know how much ink you have? I'm like, if you're doubting it, go over top of it again. So I'm going over top of it again. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little cloth here and just wipe the center of it because I did get some excess ink and I just don't want that to transfer over onto my paper here. Normally it doesn't, but I'm just being careful. And then I'm going to put my top plate on and let's run this through. All right, Glenna, which one are you talking about? Okay, so there's lots of questions going on here. All right, what I took off my Better Press. All right, this is the one that we're using for our Scrap Fest. All right, this will be available in the next couple weeks. It's a wildflower one. It is gorgeous. Love it, love it, love it. Wait till you see the samples with it. But the other one, the floral one that I'm doing, look how beautiful this is. Look it. So pretty, guys. Oh my goodness. And then this one that I'm using, it's not quite available, but as of Monday, I should be able to order it from Hero Arts. It is a new release. And we should have that in the next couple of weeks. So both of them will be coming in. They're both being released. On Monday for ordering, I believe. Don't worry, we're going to have lots of these ones. All right. This one is gorgeous. Really, it is. All right. So there is that. No secrets. I am just so bad. All right. So I'm going to grab my water brush now. And remember, we're on Better Press paper and we used water-based inks. We used the Simon Hurley inks. You could do this with Distress inks. You could do this with Hero Arts reactive inks, anything that's water-based, all right? I also have paper towels here. Okay. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on the pink one here. I'm gonna use my water brush and get some water flowing here. And I'm just gonna paint the inside and I'm gonna clean my brush off in between, okay? You want to have a good amount of water. You almost want it, almost a pool of water there, but not too much. I mean, the more you do this, the easier it becomes and you know how much water to use. But you don't want to go too crazy. And I'm just wetting that. And you can probably see that on camera now. What is happening? Water-based ink reacts with the water, all right? So now I have some water there. I'm going to take my paper towel and just put it on there and pull it off. And you can see that now I am starting to bleach that out, all right? And you can continue working at that. It won't become fully white, but you can definitely get a difference in there, all right? So just a kind of a cool thing. Now, every time you blot it, you want to make sure your paper towel is clean because I picked up some of that pink ink there. So when I go into my next floral, like the yellow here, I don't want to use that same area because I don't want the pink to transfer over, all right? So you're going to be able to remove some of this ink just with a water brush and a paper towel. It's a little time consuming, right? Especially when you have a floral border like this, but a very cool kind of concept and technique, all right? So this is like faux bleaching, okay? You can see how much yellow I've gotten out of there, all right? And as this dries, it will lighten up a little bit more. Let me just get this one done. And I'm going to do an orange one just so you can see it. And then I'll finish it off camera. And then I'll post all my pictures tomorrow with gems and such. All right. But you can get the kind of idea of what I'm doing here. All right. So you can see I've actually quite bleached that out, which it looks lovely. All right. Let's do kind of one in the orangey tones here. And again, when you do this, you can see that I'm doing one petal at a time, and then clean your brush in between, all right? Because you are actually removing ink with your ink brush or your water brush as well. So the more that you can remove, the whiter it will become. All right, so I've got a good amount of water, I think, on there. So now I'm going to use the paper towel just to dry it and make sure I have a clean area. That one lifted really nice, all right? Okay, so I'm going to continue on doing this, and I will probably do all the florals, even the leaves, because the more that you're going to have that contrast, and I think it's going to look lovely. I'll stamp a little sentiment on the in the center. I may trim this down and then mount it on a piece of white cardstock, all right? But that is what I'm going to do off camera. You don't need to watch me paint this, but I'm just going to show you the leaf. It's kind of a cool technique, and if you like coloring, then you're going to like this as well, all right? And the darker the colors you have, like if you did dark blues and purples, it's even going to stand out even more, all right? The darker the colors, the more that is going to stand out. But you can see those leaves, they're going to stand out lovely as well. So I'm going to hold that a little bit closer to the camera so you can kind of see it. And as it dries, it will lighten up a little bit, all right? So that is it for me working with some of the new Hero Arts projects or products. Like we showed some of them in the happy hour today. So we've got the floral window. All right, so we did 2 cards with that one. The trellis. Of course, I will do something else with that other trellis as well. And then the stamp set that we used was the, now I forget the name of it. Anyone? The Special Day Butterfly, and I showed that today, and that's a Stamp and Die bundle, and that's got the florals and the butterflies. So there we go, 5 cards, guys, using the new Hero Arts. There we go. Okay, ink colors I used. I actually went with, I have my Simon Hurleys, but I used these. Nope, not one. I used the bright orange one too. I don't know where it is. It's missing, but I just used a bright yellow, a bright pink, and a bright orange. If you are using distress colors, because not everyone has a Simon Hurley, mustard seed, picked raspberry, and carved pumpkin would be the same almost, all right, to get that same color, all right? So there is that, everyone. I'm going to call it a night, though. I will finish up off camera. I'll post all my finished samples tomorrow morning so you can see them all completed. I thank you for joining me on What's Up Wednesday. Hopefully you learned a thing or two this evening. Until next time, everyone, have yourself a wonderful night. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.